Top story at 6, we're digging deeper into a lawsuit filed in Knox County against a prescription drug distributor.
Tennessee Attorney General Herbert Slattery III suing AmerisourceBergen for its role in the ongoing opioid epidemic. Reporter Blake Stevens going to the courthouse today to find out more about the state's case.
There is a 230-page document that's sealed right now that lays out the state's case. It could be unsealed as soon as next week, but I was able to learn a little more through a 7-page memorandum. The Attorney General is arguing Amerisource knew there was an opioid abuse problem in the state, but kept shipping drugs. He's also arguing the company oversupplied Tennessee's pharmacies with pain pills, enough for every man, woman, and child to have 109 of them. The AG alleges Amerisource ignored red flags, like a lot of people at a pharmacy paying cash for controlled substances. It says their investigation shows the company worked to get new business from independent pharmacies because they'd be a more likely source for suspicious orders. Tennessee Attorney General Herbert Slattery III saying this lawsuit is one way his office can help curb the opioid epidemic in the state. He says their investigation found 8.5 million oxycodone pills were sent by Amerisource to this food city alone in Bearden from 2006 to 2012.
They were not just truck drivers. They knew the quantities that they were supplying. They knew that there were problems at these specific pharmacies, and they continued to supply them. They supplied them beyond amounts that they were authorized, even under their own policies, to provide. But these were revenue sources for them. And they continued to do this over a long period of time. And as a result, Tennessee has one of the worst opioid epidemics in the country.
General Slattery also pointing at a single day in 2010 when the company sent 168,000 pills to another Knoxville Food City location. For perspective, that's almost 1 pill per person, making up the city's population.
Just the quantity of the shipments alone would be one red flag, but they do further investigations. They have compliance programs. They have threshold amounts on what they sell. We're quite confident that Amerisource in this instance knew of the problems. None of this is a surprise to Amerisource.
We did hear from the company that owns Food City, KVAT. They say they're using a third-party audit company to review their pharmacies, and they've been and remain committed to the health and safety of the communities it proudly serves. Guys.
All right, Blake, thank you. Now, we did reach out to AmerisourceBergen for comment. We're still waiting to hear back. And of course, when we do, we will let you know.
In the meantime, we also received a statement from an industry group, the Healthcare Distribution Alliance. John Parker, the group's senior VP of communications, saying in part, quote, the idea that distributors are responsible for the number of opioid prescriptions written defies common sense and lacks understanding of how the pharmaceutical supply chain actually works and is regulated.
Now, Parker went on to say, quote, those bringing lawsuits would be better served addressing the root causes rather than trying to redirect blame through litigation.